I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday cause he like me. He give it to me cause he owe me. Now I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Now don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying?
Peace and love, YouTube. It's SMF Meezy. And this YouTube video is really just going to be about me introducing myself to those of you who don't really know who I am, and really just kind of giving you guys an introduction to my journey, the things that I've gone through throughout my music career, and just life in general that's impacted my music and me as a person, me as a being, and give you guys a more in-depth explanation of what my YouTube channel will consist of, as well as my brand. And that's really it, man. So we're gonna get right into it. Who am I? I am a father, I'm a day trader, I'm an artist. I love talking about healing and growth. And I love bettering myself every day. I love being the best version of myself. I love spirituality. It's really what life boils down to. Where I'm from, man, I am from Savannah, Georgia. I was born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I was born and raised in the city. And the city has impacted my life in ways that I didn't understand growing up, that I do now as I've become more spiritually in tune with myself. I was born in Savannah. I moved all around Savannah, Georgia. I was raised in a single parent home. I wasn't raised with my father in the house, so there was no family structure. There was no stability. I was raised by a lot of women. The women in my family were very strong-minded women, and they've always had to be the man of the house. I was raised with my siblings as well. I didn't really have a stable family structure. My mom worked 1, 2, sometimes multiple jobs just to be able to take care of us and make sure that we had everything that we needed as far as just maintaining us, you know. And because she had to become the man, and because she had to be the man, you know, there were certain things that I lacked that she weren't able to provide for me or my other siblings that I grew up with. And that goes into what inspired me to create music. Was I felt like I needed an environment for me to be able to support myself and express my authentic self without feeling judged, and to just be. I needed an environment that supported me being able to process how I felt and learn from experiences. And writing was that form of, you know, creating music. That was how I created that environment for myself. So that's what inspired me to create music. My intentions for creating music was never to become an artist or to do music. It was solely for me to be able to create an environment that supported me expressing my authentic self without judgment. And that was really it. And since then, I've just been continuing to write and create music. And now things have gotten to a point where, you know, I write and I create music. It's in that form of people look at it as I'm an artist. I don't necessarily like to consider myself as a rapper because this is just how I create. This is just how I communicate, and I create that space and environment for myself to express my authentic self without feeling judged, man. So this is just my form of expressing myself. In high school, I enlisted for the military. Like I said, I was raised by women, and growing up, I didn't really have no structure in regards to my family. And so I was always codependent. I was taught how to be codependent upon the government. So going into the military was one of those things that I felt like would really be my only way out outside of sports. And I knew that like there's more to life than just being a basketball player or a football player and being that stereotype. I ended up enlisting in the military September, I forgot the specific date, but I knew it was in September 2018, so somewhere. But I knew prior to me even graduating high school, I knew I was going into the military. Shortly after I enlisted into the military, I met my fiance, and took a trip to Miami, and that Miami trip changed my whole life. That trip to Miami was really, it gave me real perspective on what life, really what I wanted to feel, knowing how that felt and having that experience. It told me that I could create that for myself, and that's literally what I am doing as of right now. On this journey, I've been working my way back to that experience, but in a different form where I've provided that for myself. And then after me and my fiance took a trip to Miami, by the way, like we took that trip to Miami to support her in her career. So I was supporting her in her career on that trip as she was going through her own music career and things of that nature. And I was just there supporting her. But that trip was, again, it played a major role in my experience and how I create. But shortly after that Miami trip, man, we ended up moving to Atlanta and moved to Atlanta, and that right there in itself also changed my whole perspective on life. And not only life, but like the things that I got to see and witness and experience in regards to the music industry as I was supporting my fiance while she was going through her own music career. At that moment in time, I was just there supporting her as well as still writing and creating. And in the midst of supporting her, I was still kind of doing my own little thing, but mainly supporting her. Atlanta changed the game for me. I feel like once I moved to Atlanta, my music changed, my writing changed, my creativity changed. The things I started to talk about changed. And again, like I said, those experiences is what opened my creativity up, that allowed me to really start to make those adjustments within my writing process and my creativity. And shortly as I moved into Atlanta, like I said, I enlisted into the military. I enlisted in the Air National Guard, and I was waiting for like a year. It was like a year, probably a little over a year before I even went to basic, or probably a little over a year when I finally got my orders to go at the basic training, and that was while I was living in Atlanta. And so I had to go back home. I felt like I had literally found out a week before I had to leave, and so everything was really like chaotic and instant. So like life changed instantly for me. And going into the military and having that basic military training, that experience in itself unlocked another level within me that allowed me to go beyond what it is that I knew, because going into the military, that was my first time ever being away from family or anybody that I knew, and that opened me up to a different level of self-awareness. I became very aware of what was me, how I felt, and the programming that I was under as I grew up. And taking that time away from everything that I knew, and me having to reprogram myself or reshape my mind and become somebody different for me to be able to graduate that process and to truly live out that experience. I had to become someone else, because there were times where I was in basic. I actually had the opportunity to leave basic training early because of the sickle cell trait. And I cried my first week. That whole entire week I cried. It was so difficult for me to go to sleep. And it was just due to the uncomfortableness and not knowing what I was even there for, like what I signed up for. There was so much uncertainty. I didn't know how things were gonna look for me being there and at the end of that process. And I just knew like that comfortableness is what I overcame. I overcame that older version of me who only knew what the city taught him, who only knew what his single mom taught him, who only knew what raised by women who just all they knew was work and hustle because there was no man in the family. That's all I knew, and I was breaking that as I became more aware of myself, and I got to really see who I am, see what I was made of, what I was capable of, and where I could really take myself. That experience was everything for me. And so that has changed everything within my music, who I am now, and how I go about my day-to-day life. And those were really pivotal moments within my life that has changed the trajectory of my music and my life and my mindset. And those things really allowed me to cultivate my spirit and get me to where I am now. Fatherhood, man. Most of you guys don't know, I'm a father of 2 daughters. We moved back from Atlanta back home to Buford. Well, my fiance's from Buford, I'm from Savannah, Georgia, but they're like 30, 45 minutes away from each other. And we moved from Atlanta back to Buford, and then shortly after we moved back to Buford, we found out that my fiance was pregnant. We ended up moving ASAP into our own space. We moved into my hometown, Savannah, Georgia. And that was another pivotal moment for me, fatherhood. Becoming a father and seeing and witnessing and feeling the whole birth process, and from a different perspective of, again, what I was always taught about birth. It changed the whole trajectory of who I am again. So there were so many different pivotal moments within my life that that have shaped me and who I am. And that's where I really started to tap more into my spirituality and actually become aware and understand what it was that I was becoming aware of as I became a father. Seeing those 2 different aspects of myself, my 2 daughters, and realizing that they are here to bring certain experiences for me to learn about myself. It's changed the whole game for me, and it's changed my music now. And this is what I'm here to talk to you guys about. I had to give you guys a little backstory of who I am, where I come from, what inspired me to create music, and just a few pivotal moments throughout my journey so far that you guys may have not known about, for you to have an understanding of where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about in my music, because it's necessary. I knew that if I didn't give you guys this, you guys would lack the understanding of where I'm coming from within my music, and that's important for y'all to even be able to connect with me and for me to be able to connect with you guys. That's it. In the midst of fatherhood, I ended up having to take a break. I had to take a break from music. I had to take a break from social media to regather myself and really heal from those older aspects of myself that I was unaware of. And like I said, when I was in the military, I noticed that I became someone different, but I was still unaware of those older aspects of myself. As I have my children, the experiences that I've had with my children, they've allowed me to see those older aspects of myself within them and allowed me to heal from what I didn't heal from prior to conceiving them. And so here we are now, after that break within the music and everything like that. I'm ready to share my story with you guys. So this is what my channel will consist of. My channel will consist of my life experiences revolving around my music, and what's really allowed me to alter my programming and my beliefs about myself and the understanding that I have of myself and my life from those experiences. My channel is just going to consist of my whole creative process, my life experiences. I'll be giving out game on what's helped me heal and really break that concrete jungle mentality that society has placed a lot of people that live in the city in. And it's just a really growth and transformational journey that I'm going to be sharing with y'all. And That brings me to my brand.
SMF shit, self-made forever, KOBK shit.
SMF once stood for was self-made forever. And at the time, self-made forever was literally just me.
I'm a self-made nigga too. I got it. I'm about to steal his name. I'm a self-made nigga too.
I had to be self-made. I had to do everything on my own and do this and do that. And that's where the hustle mentality comes from. That's what I learned from watching so many different single moms go through. They had to be self-made. They had to do everything on their own. And my brand, SMF, has evolved to Soul Mission Fulfilled. And what Soul Mission Fulfilled has done for me was allow me to be who I need to be to fulfill my mission. And that's my mission, is to be the greatest version of myself. And that's who I've evolved into. Soul Mission Fulfilled, Meezy. Went from self-made to Soul Mission Fulfilled because everything that I've done has evolved my spirit and has touched my soul in a way where it's allowed me to grow and heal from older aspects and older versions of myself that were detrimental to my being and those that I loved around me. And so for me to be able to share this journey with you guys, I'm excited, man. Welcome to my channel. If you're anything like me, willing to evolve, wanting to evolve and grow and heal from those older aspects of you, and to become aware of those older aspects of you that aren't serving you, stay for the journey. It's all the way from financial freedom to building better relationships with yourself and your children, building better relationships with the loved ones you have around you, and being able to do all of that still in the midst of fulfilling your mission, which is just to achieve whatever it is that you would like to achieve within life in this lifetime. If you're here for that, if you would like to achieve that, if you would like to be on a journey with someone who is doing it in real time and who's going to be very transparent with you and document his journey and how I'm going about doing things to help me get closer and closer to the God within me, this is for you. Peace and love. It's Meezy. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And don't forget, you gotta be what you need to fulfill your mission. Nobody else is gonna be that for you. That's just one way I've learned. I've had to be who I need as a father. That little kid in me, that inner child who's yearning for love and affection and self-love and support and, consistency and discipline and showing up. That's who I had to be. I had to show up. I had to be disciplined. I had to be consistent for myself to heal that aspect of me who was lacking. It felt like they were lacking. I had to be who I needed to fulfill my mission. Peace and love. Also, I have a new single coming out, Growing Pains. It will be released December 21st. And just off of the title, that's just, I can say that, should say enough, but it's a single of mine that's really important to me. This song has helped me really reflect on, again, my upbringing and the things that I've had to endure and feel, those experiences that I needed to feel for me to take action towards being the best version of myself, and being who I needed to be, being who I needed to be in order for me to align myself with what I say I would like for myself. And Growing Pains is a perfect representation. It's a perfect, it's a divine message from God that's I continue to replay and replay whenever I need redirection and realignment. And it's all about, just taking action. Continue to take action. Don't lie to yourself and tell you you will like yourself. You will like something for yourself, and not take the actions and the necessary steps for you to be able to align yourself with what it is that you say you would like for yourself. And I know that we all can, attest to having those moments where you say you want something and you don't really do it, or you don't really take what you say you would like serious. And sometimes it just takes a minute for us to get to that point to where we feel enough of what we've been feeling for us to say, okay, I'm ready to release and let go of what's not serving me so that I can get to where I would like to be at. And that's what Growing Pains has done for me. Every time I play it, it puts me in that mode where I'm reprogramming myself, and I'm, being very mindful of what I'm allowing into my space. And it helps keep me on track, and it keeps reinforcing me to take action. Be who I say I need to be. Be who you need to be. Growing Pains, December 21st, 12:21 p.m. Peace.